What is up, Solow Sportsters? I'm here inside the gorgeous Chase Lounge, sitting right above our Flushing, Queens location at the US Open to review the latest update to the Radical lineup, and probably my favorite of the Radical lineup, the Head Radical MP 2025. Stick around, see what I thought about it, and see if it's the right racket for you. For this playtest, we decided to string the racket up with Hawk Touch at 50 pounds. This is a great control-oriented string that matches really nicely with a control-oriented racket, and especially since it's endorsed by a lot of the top players who use head strings, we thought it would be a great match for a top-selling racket, top-selling string, control racket. All these things blend together really nicely for this playtest, so of course we had to go with Hawk Touch. The Head Radical MP 2025 is 300 grams, which equates to 10.6 ounces unstrung, with a swing weight of 321, making it 4 points head light and a balance point of 13 inches. Just like the previous generations, it has a 98 square inch head size, a standard length of 27 inches, a 16 by 19 string pattern, and a beam that goes from 20 to 23 down to 21 millimeters. The stock grip is the Hydrozorb Pro, which comes in that show-stopping fluorescent orange and is still the middleweight option, nestled in between the Radical Pro and the Radical Team. So the first thing you notice before you even swing at the ball has to be this bright orange. I think it's positively stunning. I think it's visible from 20 miles away. You can probably flag down a plane with this thing. I think it looks great. It's very distinct and noticeable from 4 or 5, 6 courts down. And I think more and more these brands are catching on to the fact that you want a racket that's going to stand out, especially on TV. So for example, when you see a bright neon yellow racket, you're going to know, oh, that's the Extreme, and then you're going to go want to get one because it looks so great on TV. So that's another racket like that, is this Radical here. I think this color is bright and vibrant and fantastic, and it definitely will turn heads. It might even distract your opponent for the first couple points, so enjoy those free points while you can get them. As someone with a more whippy stroke, someone who maybe swings more vertically as opposed to laterally, I struggled a little bit to find the range at the baseline with this racket. I felt that I really had to get outside my comfort zone, make sure I was really plowing through the ball, because this racket wasn't giving me much, it wasn't doing much for me, but it did allow me, when I did fully swing out and did fully commit, I was rewarded, but I felt like I had to do that on every single ball. There wasn't like an easy rally ball that I could hit to just stabilize the point and get into a rhythm. I felt like I really had to go full throttle on all my shots, which can be a little bit tough, especially if you're getting a little tight, middle of a match, late in the game, 30, 40, whatever it is. So this is great if you're super aggressive and like to have the racket do as little work for you as possible. So for someone who's really that aggressive, I think it's great. For someone who maybe likes to stand back, rally from the baseline, maneuver the ball around, wait for an opportunity, might not be the best choice, but for that aggressive player, definitely worth the swing. This racket scored well in our Solow Sports review. As a control-oriented racket with a smaller than average head size, this racket is catered towards players who have a flatter and more linear stroke and want to be one step shy of ultimate control. The ideal player for this racket has an NTRP rating of 3.5 or higher, can generate their own pace,
uses a one or two-handed backhand, and has an all-court game. The majority of people, in my experience, who have purchased a racket like this, other than players looking to make a fashion statement, are adults who are larger in stature and find themselves coming to grips with the fact that they can no longer handle the heaviest prestiges or the ultra-heavy control frames. Similar rackets from other brands include the Babolat Pure Strike 1619, the Wilson Blade 98 16x19, the Dunlop CX 200, and the Yonex Percept 100.
Now for me, where this racket shines, other than that bright cosmetic, is up at net. I was able to punch volleys. I felt very comfortable. I didn't have to overthink it. It was really simple. The feel was fantastic. With the Auxetics 2.0, I felt a little more connected, a little more of a crisp sensation. I really enjoyed that about this. All I really needed to do is put that little extra, backspin on the ball to keep it low, and I was giving my opponents all sorts of trouble. Definitely a great volleying racket. I would definitely love to bring this out on the doubles court with me because I was able to just put stuff away and it felt absolutely fantastic. On serve was probably the weakest part of this racket for me. I felt it just a little bit jarring and the sweet spot felt kind of small. It's just like from with the baseline when I was really plowing through it and when I was going for a big flat serve, this thing was a lot of fun. But when I was trying to be a little more methodical, a slider out wide or a big kick out wide in the ad court, I wasn't quite getting what I wanted out of the racket. But again, it's just that slightly denser control pattern in the middle. It's the slightly smaller head size, it's the thinner beam. It's all those sorts of things that someone who takes a bigger cut at the ball is going to really appreciate because it'll rein them in. But for someone who's maybe looking for a slightly easier day at the office, not my first choice. I also found it a little bit jarring. The stiffness was kind of getting to me. This isn't a super stiff racket on the machine, but I definitely felt it when I was playing. So on serve, not quite my favorite. But definitely for those like bombs, those flat serves down the tee or out wide, definitely a fun one to hit with. I hope you've enjoyed our review of the Head Radical MP 2025. Make sure to hit that subscribe button so that you're always updated of when new rackets are releasing, new strings being reviewed, new shoes being play tested, and everything else we've got going on here. And as always, we look forward to seeing you in the next video.